DLP KPM.
Wow.
Hi, Sweetie.
Hi.
Welcome to our memorial exhibition. How could I help you?
Well, I'm looking at pictures of battles, numbers, and these must be warriors. Is it
Yes,
true?
you are right, dear. They are known as warriors of Malaysia.
Oh.
Because they fight against the colonizers of Malaysia like Britain and Japan. And for your information, it happened in the 19th century. So he's the Dol Said. We have Dol Said, Dato Maharaja Lela, Antanum and Markilau. They fight against the colonizers in the 19th century.
So they must be historians that are very important in our lives to remember.
Yes.
But then you mentioned about 19th century. Which period is that? And when did that happen?
Well, dear, 19th century is 100 years ago. And for your kind information, now we are living freedomly because of them in the 21st century.
21st century?
Didik TV KPM.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera everyone. You're watching another show of Didik TV KPM for our level 2 primary school, and today we are learning mathematics in DLP or dual language program. With me for the whole 1 hour, Syafiqah Farahin Razali, and today we'll be learning about relationship, but not just any relationship. To know more about our topic today, we'll have in the studio with us our very own teacher, our mathematics teacher, Miss Kaalai. Hi, Miss Kaalai. How are you?
Hi, Syafiqah. I'm fine. How about you?
I'm great, and I'm more than happy to see you clad in sari today.
Thank
ready
you.
We've been together for about 3 times already.
Yes.
Every time I learn in Miss Kaalai's class, it's a very fun lesson, but also challenging. That's why in mathematics DLP, we must stay focused, right, Miss Kaalai?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, so a bit about our topic, but before that, Miss Kaalai, as usual, we have to practice our SOP in the studio because we haven't won against COVID-19. Thus, you have to wear your face mask, maintain a social distance of at least 1 meter, like me and Miss Kaalai right now. We're maintaining at least 2 meters here, and also wash your hands frequently. If you don't have a water source nearby, please wear your hand sanitizer. All right, for that very reason, Miss Kaalai, I invite you to use our hand sanitizer provided on the table. All right, just now, Miss Kaalai, I gave a bit of a hint on what we're going to learn, that is relationship. But what relationship are we learning about, Miss Kaalai?
Okay, Syafiqah. As the wise people say, time is precious, and then time and tide wait for no man.
Right.
Okay? So it's about relationship between units of time.
Units of time. That's why we touched a bit on time just now when you mentioned about 19th century. And also
we are in the passage of the years of the time.
Right, and right now, we're in the 21st century. That means how many years have gone by? I'm sure it's loads and loads of years. But to learn more about that, you have to wait a bit. Miss Kaalai, perhaps we can talk a bit about what we're going to learn today.
Okay, dear. Okay.
All right.
Since we are talking about time,
yes.
May I ask you what elements do you know in time? Like what we measure, how we measure the time?
How we measure the time in terms of as timing, I think we can use AM or PM. But then I don't think you're even talking about that. You're talking about something else.
Yes,
I think perhaps you're talking about maybe 1 year or 2 years or 1 month or 2 months, like that.
Yeah. Okay. So we have measurements in the time. Okay. So can you say out the measurements in the screen?
Yes. As shown on the screen, we have seconds, decades, months, hours, years, days, millennium, weeks, century, and also minutes.
Yes, so you're right, Shafiqah. So all these are measurements that we use to measure the passage of the year, of the times, as I said just now. Okay?
Right.
Do you know what is millennium?
Millennium, I think it's more than a decade. It's more than a century. Perhaps, Miss Kaalai, millennium, I think it's 1,000 years.
Yeah, I will let it know after this. Okay, so as for the today learning objective,
Alright.
at the end of this learning session, people out there at the home will able to develop knowledge on the passage of the time and then state the relationship at what Shafiqah said just now between millennium, centuries, decades and years, and as well as convert. We have conversion of units today.
Right.
Convert units of time involving hours and days, days and weeks, months and years, and as well as years, decades and centuries.
Right, and there you have it, our learning objectives today. So perhaps pupils, you can take out your pens and pencils and write down all your notes on your note paper, and we'll be right back after this with those activities. So don't go anywhere. I'll see you back on Didik TV KPM.
Didik TV KPM.
Did you know? In mathematics, time is the ongoing and continuous series of events that occur one after another from the past through the present to the future.
Hello pupils, welcome back to class. Today we're learning the subject of mathematics DLP with me, Kak Pika, and also Miss Kaalaivaani Suppiah from SJKT Rawang, Selangor. And today we're going to be focusing about relationship involving units of time. Just now Miss Kaalai also introduced to us the examples of time involved, but just now, as you can see from our screen, it is said that time is a continuous element that occurs in the past and until now. So it's very interesting that it doesn't stop. It goes on forever, right, Miss Kaalai?
Yes.
Okay. And we've known about our learning objectives. So what is the first activity we're doing today?
So for the first activity, let me introduce you the relationship.
Okay.
Okay. So you can look at the screen. Okay, relationship involving units of time. 1 millennium is what I asked you just now, and you also answer correctly. 1 millennium is correct to equals to 1,000 years.
1,000 years,
okay.
yes.
And then we have 1 century. 1 century equals to 100 years. And we also have 1 decade. 1 decade is equals to 10 years.
Right.
And we can tell it in vice versa also. Okay, that means 1,000 years equals to 1 millennium. 100 years is equals to 1 century, and 10 years is equals to 1 decade. Okay. So as for your information, Shafiqah, so we are in the 3rd millennium now. 3rd millennium of AD. Okay. We have first millennium BC, first millennium AD, second millennium AD, and 3rd millennium AD. So we are now in the 3rd millennium of AD, and year 2021. Yeah, we are in the year 2021, and it is in the 21st century, dear.
21st century, right? Don't get it confused, okay, pupils? Look at the screen provided and know exactly, and don't switch it around, right, Miss Kaalai?
Okay, move on. Okay, so we also can tell that 1 millennium is equals to 1,000 years and also equals to 10 centuries. Why so?
Because
previously I introduced 1 millennium is equals to 1,000 years, and why we say it is equals to 10 centuries?
Because a century is 100 years, so that means 100 times 10
equals to 1,000 years. We also can name that 1 millennium equals to 10 centuries. And same goes to 1 century is 100 years, as we all know, and we also can tell it is 10 decades. Why, dear?
Because 10 decades times 10 is 100.
Yes, 1 decade is equals to 10 years. So 10 decades, 10 times 10, as what Shafiqah said, it is equals to 100 years. Okay, so everything is multiples of 10. Okay, 10, 100, 1,000. So kids out there, I hope you understand. So you have to memorize analyze this relationship. Okay.
Okay.
So 1 millennium, I repeat, 1 millennium equals to 1,000 years, and at the same time goes to 10 centuries. 1 century equals to 100 years, and same time goes to 10 decades. Okay. And 1 decade, as we all know, it is equals to 10 years. Okay. So Syafiqah, shall we do some activity here?
I think I'm ready for that. Okay, what activity are we doing?
As usual, you can see the cards here.
Okay.
I want you to pair it according to the right relationship.
Okay, Miss Kala, I'm ready. All right,
you can go.
We can ask people at home to do it together with me. Okay, first we have 1 millennium. 100 years, 10 years, it's 1,000 years.
Yes.
This was the first question you asked me. So it
Yes.
has to be correct. Okay.
1 millennium is equals to 1,000 years.
1,000
You're
years.
right here.
Okay.
Okay, how about the following?
Next one, we have 1 decade. How long is 1 decade? I think it is 10 years. Miss Kalai, there you go.
Yes, you are right. 1 decade is equals to 10 years.
And then the last one, we have 100 years. And also, it is a century or 1 century.
Yes, 1 century is equals to 100 years. Okay?
Right. Did you get this right, pupils? Make sure you got it right, okay? All right, Miss Kalai.
So Syafiqah, can you tell them accordingly?
Okay, so the first one is 1 millennium, which is 1,000 years. Second is 1 century, which is 100 years. And 1 decade, which is 10 years.
Yes, we also can tell that 1 millennium is equals to 10 centuries, and 1 century equals to 10 decades.
10 decades. Okay.
So, is that enough for you? I think I can test you more.
Okay, let's have more quizzes.
I want to test you more. Okay,
Okay.
yes, got some self-test. Okay, now I want Syafiqah complete the following, and you can show the answers by
Using these
yes,
flashcards.
multiples of 10. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So can we start?
The first line says 10 decades is how many years?
Yes.
This is easy. 10 decades.
10 decades.
10
you have to see
decades.
clearly. 1 decade. You have to go back to the
back to that.
relationship.
Okay.
So 1 decade, is 10 years. So how about 10
decades is
equals
times
to?
10 equals 100.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Aha.
At the same time, 10 decades equals to?
10 decades equals to how many century?
Because you have 100 there.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's... Oh no,
Oops.
it's actually 1 century.
Yes.
Wow, you got me challenged in the morning. Okay, so 1 century because it's 10 decades.
So students here, they have to refer to the relationship. That's
Right.
why I emphasize the relationship first. From the relationship, then you can attend the questions. Okay.
So that means because 1 century is 100 years.
Yes.
So to make 100 years, you have to have 10 decades.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
Okay,
so
can you
times
show
1.
again? 10 decades equals to?
10 decades equals to
100.
100.
100 years. At
There
the
you
same
go.
time, it is equals to 1
equals
century.
to 1 century. So
Okay.
this is for the first line.
Yes. Okay.
100
We move
and
to the
1.
second one.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then we have the next line is 10 centuries equals to how many years? Wow.
The question is 10 centuries.
Centuries.
So we have to refer to the relationship of century and years. So 1
Right.
century is equals to 100 years. We have
100
to
years.
keep on telling this because then only students will grasp it fastly. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Because 1 century is 100 years. That means
10 century.
10 centuries is 100 times 10. So that is 1,000.
Yes. Okay.
So 1,000 years.
is equals to how many millennium, dear?
1 millennium.
Yes. Now you got it.
Yes, I think the momentum is
super
there.
fast. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Now,
Next,
we
we'll
move
go
on.
faster. 1 century is how many years? Okay.
Yes. This is straightforward.
Right. So 1
Yes.
century is 100 years. So that means it's 100 years.
Yes.
And then how
the
many
same
decades?
time, 100 years is equals to
How many
decades?
It's 10 decades.
Yes, because why?
Because one decade,
1 decade is 10 years. So we have 100 years there, so it is equals to 10 decades.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, did you get that right?
Yes.
Okay, let's do
This
it together
is called
with
as
me.
analytic thinking. Okay.
It gets harder and harder.
Yes.
Okay, and then we have 1 decade,
1 decade
is how many years?
Yes.
This is easy,
It's
Miss
just
Kalai.
easy for you.
10 years.
Yeah,
okay?
you are right.
1
Okay.
millennium is how many years? 1,000
dear.
years. And
1,000
then we
years.
have 1 millennium is how many centuries? It's because 1 century is 100 years, so it's 10 centuries.
Yes, you're right. Okay, super good.
Thank you, Ms. Kalai. I hope everyone got it right
I
as
like
well.
it very much because you can understand the relationship between millennium, centuries and years as well.
So that means once pupils understand the relationship, they can make conversion very easily.
Yes, and they can apply that in their daily life.
Right, so
Okay.
that means, Ms. Kalai, if we talk about millennium and years and century and decade, we can even choose other words in our vocabulary and make them more interesting. Sometimes people ask us when we talk about one decade, a decade, let's say. Sometimes people don't even know how many years
Yes,
that is.
yes.
So we give out new
Because we are not
information.
used to that word decades.
We are not
We are used to
used.
years, right?
Right.
So,
So I'm pretty sure pupils who are learning today, they can apply it in your daily lives. Talk to your parents, talk to your sisters and brothers, and make use of the vocabularies that you learn from today. Okay, Ms. Kalai, a bit about what we're going to do next.
shall we have a break first?
We have, of course. Let's have a break, and then we have a bit of more activities to go. But before that, Ms. Kalai, I would like to also remind our students that we do have other perhaps units of time, like you said just now, seconds, hours and minutes and so on. Are we going to discover more about that?
Yes, after this, dear.
That is why I was so excited to learn. Okay, pupils, we'll be going for a short break and we'll be right back on Didik TV KPM.
Didik TV KPM.
Did you know? On Mercury, a day is 2 years long.
Welcome back to Didik TV KPM for our Level 2 Primary School students, and today we're going to be learning about relationship between units of time. Still with me here is Ms. Kaalaivaani Suppiah from SJKT Rawang Selangor, and just now we've learned a bit about how to convert millennium, decades, years, centuries. And right now, just now we were entertained with a video of how to convert days and weeks, but I'm sure we're going to delve more into that, right, Ms. Kaalai?
Yes. Okay. I believe that kids out there enjoy the video just now. Shafika, did you watch the video?
I did, but that's a lot of memorization, so perhaps we have to do a bit of activities to remember.
Yes, dear. We call it relationship. At the same time, if that is the formula to convert, okay?
Right.
So, I want to challenge you now.
Okay. 125 years.
Can you convert these to months?
2 months. Okay, how much time do I have? I think it's about, Ms. Kaalai, I think I have to use a calculator for this. I think it's about...
You want to use marker?
Okay, 1 to 5 years is how many months? So 1 year, there's 12 months. Therefore, I will need to times 1 to 5 with 12. All right. I think this is about 1, 5, Miss Kala, I'm not sure. I think it's a lot of calculations going on. I think it's about 251.
Never mind, Shafiqah.
Months?
Never mind, Shafiqah. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
Be calm, my dear. Okay. So let me introduce the right way to convert these years to months. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So same goes to the students out there. Okay. Now, shall we look at this conversion of units of time? Okay. We have hours and days. Okay. So the relationship is 1 day is equals to 24 hours. We all know that we have 24 hours in 1 day. Okay. How to convert? Okay. To convert it from day to hours, we have to times by 24. Okay. And from hours to day, we divide by 24. It is vice versa. From days to hours and hours to day. From days to hours, what suppose we do, Shafiqah?
From day to hours times 24.
Yes.
From hours to day, divide
by 24. Okay. So next, okay, we have days and week. Another another terms is days and week. Okay. So how many days are there in a week?
There's 7 days.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so we have 7 days in a week, or 1 week equals to 7 days. Okay, to convert week to day, we have to times by 7. And convert day to week, we have to divide by 7. Okay. Again, Shafiqah, from week to day, what we must do?
From week to day, we have to times 7 or multiply 7.
And
from
day to vice versa, day to week.
Divide by 7.
Yes, you're right. Okay, that's my girl. Okay, so we have another one. Okay, we have months and years. Okay. So how many months are there in a year, baby?
That's 12 months.
Yes, 12 months. And which is your month of birth?
It just passed. Wait, it was a few months back, August, Miss Kalai.
Okay. So as what Shafiqah said, we have 12 months in a year. Okay, or 1 year equals to 12 months. So to convert year to months, we times by 12. Why we must times by 12? We refer back to the relationship because 1 year is equals to 12 months. Okay, and vice versa, months to year, we divide by 12. Okay. So can you repeat years to months? What suppose we do?
From years to months, we have to times by 12, and then vice versa, from month to years, we have to divide by 12.
Okay. So it's time to test you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I have set a question here, another self-test. Okay, Shafiqah, can you tell me 4 days equals to?
How many hours?
Yes.
So a day has 24 hours.
Yes. You can tell verbally if you know, or you can perform the
Okay, I think I can remember in my memory. Okay, so 1 day has 24 hours. So 4 days must times by 4. So 24 hours times 4 is... that needs fast calculation. I think that's about 96.
Yes. You just tell the working what we must do. Okay. To change.
To convert, the units, we need to remember how to do it.
Just now 4 days. How many hours? 4 days equals to 96 hours. Okay. Second. 12 days equals to how many hours, dear?
12 days. So I must times 12 by 24.
Why so?
Because it's asking about hours. How many hours? In 1 day, there's 24 hours. So 12 days
equals to
times 24.
Yes, it will be 288 hours.
Wow, you have a calculator in your head. Amazing.
Okay, just multiples of 24, right? Okay. Third one, convert me 13 years to months. 13 years to months.
13 years to months.
So we have to refer to the relationship.
Okay.
1 year equals to
12 months.
Yes.
So
13 years to months.
13 times 12.
Yes. So what we'll get?
I think we will get
100.
100 and how many is that, Miss Kaalai?
56 months.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, now a bit easier for you. How about 15 weeks? How many days there?
15 weeks, how many days? So 7. In 1 week, there's 7 days. So 15 must times by 7, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 105.
Yeah, you're right. Super.
Okay.
105. Okay.
All right.
Now, 7 years equals to how many months?
7 years, how many months? Okay. Back to the relationship.
Yes, you tell me the relationship.
Okay.
1 year equals to?
So 1 year equals to 12 months. So we need 7 years. So 12 times 7. And the answer is 84.
Times multiplication of 12, right? Okay.
Right.
So you just get to 84 months. Okay, now, just now I wrote it right. 125 years equals to how many years and months?
Okay, 125 years. How many years?
This one become hot question already.
Yes.
Equals to how many years
Okay.
and months?
Because there's extra months there, right, Miss Kaalai?
Yes.
Okay, that means the relationship is because 1 year has 12 months. So that means, first of all, we need to divide, because the formula from years to months is divide.
Okay,
Right, Miss
so we
Kaalai?
divide this by,
12.
are you sure?
Oh, I'm getting it wrong there. 125 years,
Yes,
how
to
many months?
months, right? Okay, 12, then?
Okay, so that means 125 is that's about 10 years and 5 months. Am I
Yeah,
right?
you're right. Because why 10 years here? 10 times 12 is 120.
Right.
And we have 5 balance here, right? Okay, 5 months. You're super good. Okay. So this is
okay.
a high order thinking question for you.
It is. It's hot
Okay, last
thinking.
one. 132 hours equals to how many days and hours?
Okay, so the relationship between hours and days, there's 24 hours in one day. So that means how many days for 132? From hours to days, we have to divide by 24.
Because
That
why,
means-
dear?
Because it's hours to days. So 132 divided by 24.
So you'll get?
So I'll get around 120. I think that's about 5.
Yeah.
5 days.
5, because 5 times by 24 we'll get 120. So 132 we minus 120, we have balance
12.
12. Yeah, you can write it
12
on the year.
hours.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right, Miss Kaalai. So 5 days and 12 hours.
Okay, so 132 hours we have 5 days and 12 hours in there. Okay.
Right, so that means, Miss Kaalai,
So what you learned just now, Suppiah?
I learned that conversions, there's a formula towards conversion, and don't mix up between the multiply and also divide, and don't mix up between the number. Let's say from hours to days, it's 24, and then from weeks to days, it's 7, right, Miss Kaalai?
We have to see the units here. Okay.
Yes, the units.
The units that required. Okay. Sometimes 125 years they ask in months straight away. But here we have combination. 125 years they want in pair, years and months. Okay.
Right.
This will be a tough for the students. Okay. So
Okay.
kids out there, you have to refer to the relationship. Okay. To the formula, we can tell it as formula also. So years to months, we must see the relationship. So we will either be times by 12 or divide by 12. For that, you have to see the unit of the conversion.
Okay, Miss Kaalai, that means if we want to convert it straight to months, that means the 10 years will have to times by 12, right, Miss Kaalai?
Yes.
And then plus this.
Yes.
That's a bit of a hot.
You can check your answers as what Shafiqah says. Okay, 10 years you times by
12.
how many months that? 12, right? So you will get 120.
Right.
120 you plus with 5, yeah, you are right, 125 years. The total you get the correct one.
Okay,
Shall we move to the next section?
Okay, let's do it. I'm guessing we're doing
Here
a bit of
I
a
set you a crossword puzzle.
Crossword puzzle.
So there are the questions
Okay.
across and down. Okay. So dear, you have to find the answers and take the answers, the numbers here, and you place it on the boxes here.
Okay, Miss
Are you
Kaalai.
ready?
I don't have to hop or anything,
Shall we
right?
go to the action? No?
Yes, do it now. Okay.
Okay, first one, we look at the across. Across, okay. 3 days equals to how many hours?
1.3 days is how many hours? Okay.
No, 3 days equals
3
to how many
days.
hours? Yes.
Oh, okay. 3 days is 24 hours times 3.
Yeah, because 1 day is equals to
24
hours. So what do you get me, madam?
So that means 24 times 3. So I'll get 12 here and then 72.
Yeah, can you place the numbers in there? 72.
All right, I'll go to this side. I have 7 and
Across.
2.
You have to
So across,
across.
here. Okay, Miss Kaalai.
Yeah, you're right.
So
number
that's the
one.
first one.
Now we go down. Number 1 down. Okay. 3
30
weeks
years.
equals to how many days?
3 weeks equals to how many days? So in a
So
week,
back to the relationship, yes.
the relationship, in a week, in 1 week, that's 7 days. So that means I have to times 7 with 3.
So
and
you'll
the
get...
answer is 21.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just put the 1. Okay.
Oh, because we already have,
have
2
2
there.
there. Okay, 21.
Right. Okay, pupils, let's do this together with me.
Yes.
Have you gotten the right answer yet?
Okay, now we
next.
go to number 2 across. Okay. So can you read the answer? 13 years?
13 years equals to how many months?
Okay.
Okay.
So that means
So that
1 year
means 1
equals
year
to
equals to 12 months.
So,
I have to times 12
13 times
with
by
13.
12. I have for you 13 times by 12.
Yes.
So we will have
156.
Yes.
So I'll have to take 1 and
across
6.
1, 5 and 6 years.
Okay.
156.
And here, Miss Kaalai.
Okay, now
Okay.
we go to
Halfway
down. Number
done.
2 down. Can you read the question here?
All right, number 2 is 6 days, 9 hours equals to how many hours?
Yes.
Okay, this
So
is
what shall you do in this question?
all right, so it's talking about hours. So that means in 1 day there's 24 hours. So for
No, the
6
need of
days,
question is they want it in hours.
they want in hours. So that means 24 times 6. Is
Yes.
that right?
Okay.
Ah.
6 times by 24. So what you will get?
144.
Okay. And then
Plus
the balance.
9.
Yes, you should plus the 9.
9.
So what you'll get there?
So I get 153.
So we have 1 there.
We have
Okay.
1 there, and then we need 5 and 3.
Yes.
Okay, so this is down, so I need to go
Careful,
down here.
careful.
Okay.
Okay, we have another 2 questions more.
All right, 2
okay,
more.
we go 3 across.
8 decades, 3 years is how many years?
Okay.
Okay.
The need of question is they want in years.
Right.
So which one you should touch and convert there?
Okay, so it wants in years. That means 1 decade is 10 years.
Okay.
So that
So
means
8 decades?
it's 80 years. Plus
And
3.
we have to plus with the balance 3. So you'll get
83.
You're right, dear. Okay, the thing is
Okay.
over there. Just the tens place value.
Okay.
The last one.
The last one,
Shafika, we have
7
3
years.
down, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Oh, there's already a clue there actually. Okay, so the last, do you want me to read it out?
Yes.
Okay, we have 7 years, 2 months is how many months? Okay, so it wants it in months. That means for 7 years, we have to times by 12.
Why is it?
Because 1 year has 12 months.
Because the question they require in months. So
They
the
require
years
in
there
months.
we convert to months first. Okay?
Right, okay, so 12 times 7 is 84.
84.
Plus 2.
Yes.
So that's about 86. We have the last one here.
Okay, so it is 86. Okay, wait.
86. I think this is the... Okay, there you go. So we've completed our crossword puzzle here.
Yes, Shafika. So you have done with the 3 sets of relationship. Can you tell them?
Okay, so the 3 sets of relationship that we had was days to hours. 3 days equals to 72 hours. And then we have 13 years equals to 156 months. And the third one is 8 decades, 3 years equals to 83 years. And then for the down, we have 3 weeks equals to 21 days. And then 6 days, 9 hours equals to how many was that? 153, was it, Miss Kaalai?
Yes.
Yes, 153. And then the last one, 7 years, 2 months is equals to 86. Okay.
Okay, you are superb. You are well done. Okay. Actually, the 3 sets of times we learned just now is days and hours,
Days and hours,
weeks and days and hours, weeks and
Hours.
days, weeks and days. 1 week equals to 7 days, and years and months. 1
Years
year
and months.
equals to 12 months.
12
And
months.
how to convert it from days to months and days to hours and vice versa.
Right.
How to convert weeks to days and vice versa. How to convert years to months and vice versa.
Okay, Miss Kaalai. So for that very activity, how much, maybe perhaps stars or marks can you give me?
I can give you 10 full marks.
10
okay?
full
Yes,
marks.
10 over 10.
I thought the full marks was 100, but 10 is good enough.
Yes, 10 out of 10 is 100, dear.
Okay, great. So I've got my marks. How about you? Did you get the same answers as me just now? Don't forget, we have conversions, and don't forget the amount of number that you need to times or multiply to get the right answer. Okay, don't get it confused. We'll be right back on Didik TV KPM. We'll see you then.
Didik TV KPM.
Did you know? The Petronas Twin Towers in Malaysia took 6 years of 24 hours construction to complete.
Hello, pupils. Welcome back to class. Just now we had a trivia saying how long the build of the Petronas Twin Tower took, and it says about 24. How long was that?
Years.
6 years, and
Based on one full day, 24 hours.
yes. And how do you convert that? Perhaps you can do your own calculation as well. But for now, as you can see, I have a whiteboard next to me. I'm sure you're going to do more calculations. So please maintain your notes, maintain your pens and pencils to write down your notes and calculate with me. Don't leave me alone to calculate, because today we are learning mathematics, so we have to do it together. All right, Miss Kaalai. So what's next?
Okay, before we move on, dear.
All right.
So far, you have answered all my questions correctly. So I would like to give you a gold star for you.
Thank
Okay,
Miss Kaalai. I got a star, guys. Okay. All right.
Okay, so far what we have covered, Shafika?
Okay, so for the the second segment, we've actually covered a bit of conversion and knowing the relationship of units of times involving millennium, decades and centuries. And then next we covered about weeks and hours. Weeks and days. And
Days
then
and hours.
Days and hours.
Years and months.
Years and months.
Yes,
there
you're
you
right.
go.
Okay.
You had it.
So we move on. Okay, we move on to the second one.
Okay.
Third one, that is years, decades and centuries.
Okay.
What are the relationship between years, decades and century?
Okay.
Do you have any idea?
Right. So what I know so far from your lesson, that we have years to decades is 1 decade is 10 years.
Yes.
And also next centuries, we have 100 years for 1 century.
Yes, you're super good. Okay, so years, decades and centuries. Okay, 1 decade is equals to 1 year. 1 decade equals to 10 years.
Okay.
And then we want to convert decade to years. We have to times by 10, of course, because the relationship shows that 10 years. And vice versa, from years to decade, we have to divide by 10. Okay, you got it? Okay. Next one, years. Next one is 1 century is equals to 100 years. Okay, as you say. And to convert century to years, we have to times it by 100.
Okay.
Okay, and divide by 100 to convert years to century.
Okay. Wow.
Can you repeat it, my dear?
Of course. Okay, to convert centuries to years, you have to times 100. And then to convert years to a century, you have to divide by 100.
How about decade and years?
From decade to years, to convert decade to years, you times by 10, and years to decades, you divide by 10.
Okay, so the kids out there, the concept is same. Okay, so we look at the relationship of the units of time. Okay, it's involving 12 multiples of 10 just now, tens, 100, 1000, 12, 24. Okay, so when we use the 12, when we use the 24, so we must know the requirement of the units. Okay, you have to see the units. Okay, since it is decade and years, the partner, so you times by 12 or divide by times by 10 or divide by 10. Okay?
Right.
Since it is century and years, you times by 100 and divide by 100.
Okay.
So you have to be very smart on dividing and multiplication.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. So for this, I have dice for you.
Okay. Another
I
activity.
want you to play with dice. You throw the dice.
Okay.
What number you got?
All
I
right.
have a set of questions there. This is considered problem solving.
Okay.
Involving the relationship of time.
Okay.
Units of time.
Let's
Shall
do
we
it.
start?
All right.
I think you are very eager to play.
Yes, we have two,
Okay,
Miss
number
Kaalai.
2. So what's the question number 2 there? Okay,
Okay.
I read it out for you.
All
okay.
right.
In 2021, the Sultan Abdul Samad building is 125 years old. That means currently,
Okay.
the Sultan Abdul Samad building is 125 years old.
Okay.
Convert the age of the building to century and years.
Okay, all right. So it's involving years and century.
Yeah.
Okay. In 2021, is 125.
Currently, it is 125 years.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that everyone knows that building, right?
Okay.
Okay.
125 years.
You have to
Convert
give it in
century and years.
Yes, century and years.
So that means the answer will be century and years here, yeah?
yes.
Okay.
So here you have to find out how many century are there in 125 years.
Okay, so century, I'll do this very quickly. 2 years. The formula is times.
Wow, you can write the
by
formula. Okay.
100. Is that
so,
fine?
the kids can see clearly. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So to convert years to century, you have to divide by 100.
Yes.
So that means it's 1 century,
century
and
and
25 years.
Yes, you are right.
Yay,
Okay, she did
okay.
that.
All right.
Good job. Okay.
Okay.
Can you continue?
All right. One last time. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
We got number 5.
But luckily we don't have number 5
Okay, let's try
there.
this again.
Okay, second attempt.
Number 3.
Number
Miss Kaalai.
3, dear. Okay, number 3, it sounds like Mr. Smith owns an antique car, aged 2 decades and 8 years.
Okay.
Can
2
you write it
decades
down?
and
2
8
decades
years.
and 8 years.
Okay. All right.
This is called antique car.
Okay.
There are many out there, they like to collect the antique car.
Okay.
How old is the antique car in year?
In years.
So the whole thing they want in year.
Okay.
Equals to years.
Okay, all right. So 1 decade is 10 years. So 2 decades will be 20 years. So 20 years plus 8 years is 28 years. Is that right, Miss
You're
Kaalai?
right, yes.
Okay.
So we want to convert 2 decades, 8 years into years. So they are 28 years.
Right.
Because why? 2 decades is equals to 20 plus with 8 is 28 years. You are
Right.
very good.
I am very thrilled to be learning today with you because I'm sure when I go back home, I will be learning I will be saying a lot of these vocabularies, millenniums, decades, and make use of that,
Centuries,
centuries, and make use of that with all my friends as well. But we've reached the end of the show, unfortunately, and perhaps a bit of a conclusion from you from what we've learned today.
Okay, so kids out there, I believe that you have learned the relationship with the millennium, centuries and decades, okay, and also how to convert the units that we highlighted today, the 3 sets, the 4 sets of units, okay, and you able to integrate and apply this conversion of units in your daily life, okay?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that, Miss Kaalai. And also perhaps for pupils at home who wants to do more activities or exercises for today's class, where can they go?
Okay, so kids, for more details on the topic today, you can visit our webpage of KPM, that is Sumberku. You can find numerous of fun activities in Sumberku.
Okay, that's great, as shown on our screen right now. All right, Miss Kaalai, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm sure a lot of pupils out there have had a lot of information about today's lesson, and perhaps do your exercises, focus on the things that are important, and make sure you write down your notes and remember them by applying and doing more exercises. All right, Miss Kaalai, I'm pretty sure for our ending, we have a very nice poem delivered by you. To know more about that.
Entitled Time.
Poem about time. That's interesting. All right. So kids, don't go anywhere. We'll have a show right after this. But stay tuned for Miss Kaalai's poem. Thank you very much, everyone. Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera. Bye-bye. Miss Kaalai, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Time is slow. Time is fast. It never stops, but it always lasts. It's time for bed. It's time for school. To waste your time is to be fool. If the time is right, the timing will be perfect. Having the time of your life will always be worth it. Some spend their time mad. Some spend their time sad. For some people, time is all they ever had. Some people have lots of time to spare. Others spend their time not having a care. It's time to stop. It's time to go. It's time to stop. It's time to go. Time can move fast or it can move slow. Time can move fast or it can move slow. You can lose yourself or lose your mind. You can lose yourself or lose your mind. But as life goes on, we never lost the time. But as life goes on, we never lost the time. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Bye-bye.
Didik TV KPM